How dare you come before the gods when you know you are on your period?
Baba, please, I beg you. My stepmother, she forced me to come. I told her I couldn't, but she...
You dare blame another for your abomination? You have defiled this sacred place!
Please, Baba. She said if I didn't bring the offerings today, she would throw me out.
For committing this abomination, you will serve the gods here forever.
Please.
Ogumbe, Aurorisa Adwa, Sangwasiri, Zurakala, Ombrate. Help my bed!
6 months earlier, Amara woke up before dawn every day, sleeping on a thin mat in the kitchen while her stepsister Adaize enjoyed a soft bed. Amara, where is my water? Her stepmother's voice rang out. Amara grabbed the clay pot and ran to the stream. When she returned, her stepmother was waiting. You took too long. Go sweep the compound. Adaize needs to bathe. This was Amara's life. Her father died when she was 8, and his new wife seemed kind at first. But the moment he was buried, everything changed. The woman brought her own daughter, Adaize, to live with them, and Amara became a servant in her own father's house. Now 16, Amara had grown beautiful, though she didn't know it. Her stepmother kept her in torn clothes and rough hairstyles, while Adaize wore fine wrappers and had her hair braided with expensive thread. One morning, Amara accidentally burnt some soup, or so her stepmother claimed. Slap. Are you calling me a liar? Her stepmother shouted. No, ma. I'm sorry, ma. Get out. Go fetch firewood. Don't come back until you have enough for 3 days. As Amara walked through the village with her basket, she saw other girls her age laughing with their mothers, learning trades, living normal lives. She had nothing. In the forest, she sat on a fallen tree and looked up at the sky. Papa, why did you leave me with her? The birds sang, but there were no answers. When she returned home, her stepmother was braiding Adaize's hair. Mama, do you think the prince will notice me at the festival? Adaize asked. Of course, you are the most beautiful girl in this village. Amara's heart sank. The festival. Every year, the kingdom held a celebration to honor the gods. This year was special. The prince was choosing a bride. That night, lying on her mat, heard them talking. Mama, what about Amara? Will she go to the festival? Her stepmother laughed coldly. That orphan, never. She will stay home. Who would look at a girl with no family name? Amara pulled her wrapper over her head and closed her eyes. The weeks passed. Her stepmother borrowed money to prepare Adaize, new wrapper, new beads, new everything. Then something strange happened. A masquerade appeared in the village, but this one didn't dance or perform. It just walked around with a calabash begging for food. The first time Amara saw it, she was returning from the stream. The masquerade stood by the path, calabash stretched toward her. She knelt immediately. Baba, I have no food now, but I will bring you something, I promise. The masquerade lowered the calabash and let her pass. The next day, Amara cooked extra yam and wrapped it in a leaf. She found the masquerade on the same path and knelt, offering the food. The masquerade took it and nodded, like saying thank you. From then on, this became routine. Whenever the masquerade appeared, Amara brought food, sometimes yam, sometimes cassava, sometimes just gari and groundnut. Other girls in the village reacted differently. One day, Amara saw the masquerade approach a group of young women. Go away, we don't have food for beggars, they shouted, while preparing for the prince's festival. They laughed and walked away. Amara felt sorry for it. She approached and knelt, offering the 2 pieces of akara that she had brought for herself. The masquerade took the food, nodded, then did something strange. It walked away but stopped and looked back at her like it wanted to say something. Amara stood there confused, watching it disappear into the bushes. One afternoon, Adaize was walking back from the market when the masquerade appeared. This stupid masquerade again, Adaize said loudly. What do you want? We're not like that foolish Amara who wastes food on you. The masquerade lowered the calabash and walked into the bushes. Amara, coming from the opposite direction with firewood, saw everything. She approached the spot where the masquerade stood. She knelt and lowered her firewood. "Baba, I'm sorry for what my sister said. Please forgive her." She pulled out a small piece of roasted corn. "Please take this." The masquerade took the corn, then it reached out and touched her head, gently, like a blessing. Amara knelt there confused and a little scared. Why did it bless her? The day before the festival, her stepmother called her. "Tomorrow, you will take our family's offering to the shrine." "Yes, ma." Every family brought gifts to the shrine before festivals: yams, palm wine, kola nuts, chickens. The next morning, Amara woke with cramps. Her monthly flow had started. She went to her stepmother. "Ma, I cannot go to the shrine today. My monthly flow started." Her stepmother's eyes lit up, though she hid her smile. "So what should we do? Every family must present offerings today." "Maybe Adaize can go." "Adaize is preparing for the festival. She needs to rest." Her stepmother's voice turned cold. "You will take the offering. Go early, drop it, and come back quickly. The gods won't notice." "Ma, please, it's an abomination." "If you refuse, I will throw you out of this house today. You will sleep in the streets." Tears filled Amara's eyes. "Ma, please, go, now." Amara took the basket of offerings, her hands shaking. As she walked to the shrine, she prayed, "Please, gods, forgive me. I have no choice." The shrine stood at the village edge, surrounded by tall iroko trees. Other families were already there. The chief priest, Baba Aladura, blessed each offering as families presented them. When Amara's turn came, she knelt and pushed the basket forward. "Baba, this is from our family." Baba Aladura looked at the basket, then at her. His eyes narrowed. He stepped closer and sniffed the air. Amara's blood turned to ice. "Stand up." "Baba, I said stand up." And that was when the chief priest discovered her secret and the masquerade dragged her into the shrine's darkness. The news spread through the village like fire. "Did you hear? Amara went to the shrine while unclean. Abomination! The masquerade took her." A neighbor rushed to Amara's compound. "Mama Adaize, your stepdaughter, the masquerade took her at the shrine." Her stepmother gasped dramatically. "What? My Amara? No!" The neighbor explained everything. Her stepmother fell to the ground wailing, "Ah, my husband's daughter, the gods have taken her." But when the neighbor left, her stepmother stood up, dusted her wrapper, and smiled. "It is done." Adaize stared. "Mama, you sent her there on purpose." "Of course. Now she's gone and you can become the prince's wife. No competition." Meanwhile, inside the shrine, Amara remained blindfolded on a cold floor. After the masquerade dragged her past the inner chambers, gentle hands lifted her and placed cloth over her eyes. "Shh, do not speak. Do not remove the cloth," someone whispered. They carried her somewhere and laid her on something soft. She heard whispers around her. "Look at her, so thin, so dirty." "It doesn't matter." Amara's mind raced. What was happening? "Where am I?" "You are safe. Rest now." For days, Amara stayed blindfolded in darkness. People came to wash her, feed her, change her clothes, but no one removed the blindfold or explained anything. "Please tell me what is happening," she begged. "You will understand soon. Be patient." Outside, the festival began. The kingdom gathered at the palace square. Drums beat, dancers performed. The king sat on his throne in royal robes, but the chair beside him, the prince's chair, was empty. The king announced, "Any young woman who wishes to be considered as the prince's bride should come to the palace as a maid for 1 week. At the end, the prince will choose." Adaize and her mother went home excited. "This is perfect. You go to the palace, show the prince how wonderful you are, and he will choose you." The next morning, dozens of young women arrived at the palace ready to prove themselves. During that week, Adaize's true character showed. When she thought no one watched, she was rude to servants. One day, an old servant woman spilled water near Adaize. "You foolish woman, you almost ruined my wrapper." Adaize kicked water toward her. "Clean it properly." From the shadows, someone watched. Another day, Adaize pushed the girl aside to serve the prince's meal first. I am more beautiful than you. He should see me, not you. The girl stumbled and spilled food. Again, someone watched. In the hidden palace chambers, Amara remained blindfolded, confused and terrified. People treated her kindly, but she didn't understand why. The week ended. The final selection ceremony was announced. All the women who served gathered in the throne room. Adaize could barely contain her excitement. She knew he would choose her. The throne room filled. The king sat on his throne, but the prince's chair remained empty. Women whispered, "Where is the prince?" The chief priest stepped forward, his staff raised. The room fell silent. "Welcome. You have all served this week hoping to become our prince's bride." The women nodded eagerly. But the bride has already been chosen, not by what the prince saw this week, but by what the prince saw many weeks ago. Confusion spread. "What does he mean?" Adaize whispered. The chief priest pointed toward the palace doors. "Behold, the chosen bride." The massive doors slowly opened. Everyone turned. People gasped and backed away. The masquerade's raffia costume swayed as it walked into the throne room. And then they saw. The masquerade had its hand on someone's shoulder, nudging the person forward. As they came into the light, the crowd saw who it was. Amara. Still in torn, dirty clothes, face streaked with tears, eyes darting around, terrified and confused. The masquerade pushed her gently to the center, right in front of the king's throne. The chief priest's voice rang out. "This is the chosen bride of Prince Chukwemeka." The room erupted. "What? Huh? The orphan girl? This can't be right." Adaize went pale. "No, this is a mistake." The masquerade stood beside Amara. Then slowly it reached up to its wooden mask. Everyone held their breath. The masquerade removed the mask. Prince Chukwemeka stood there. The room exploded in gasps and screams. The prince! It was him all along! Adaize's legs gave out. The prince looked at Amara, who stared at him with wide, disbelieving eyes. "It was you?" she whispered. "All this time?" The prince smiled gently at her. "Yes, it was me." He turned to the crowd. "For weeks, I walked among you disguised as a masquerade, testing hearts. I wanted a wife with true kindness, not someone who wanted my title or wealth. I wanted someone who would show compassion even to a beggar." He looked at Amara. "This woman fed me when she was hungry. She spoke to me with respect when others mocked her. She gave when she had nothing. She is the one I choose." A voice rang from the crowd. "That's a lie. My daughter is more beautiful. She should be chosen, not that worthless orphan." Adaize's mother pushed through, her face twisted with rage. The king stood. "Silence!" She fell to her knees. The king's voice was ice. "You sent your stepdaughter to the shrine, knowing she would be punished. You tried to kill her so your daughter could have a better chance. Is this true?" "No, I didn't know." The chief priest stepped forward. "I was there. I heard everything. The girl begged you not to send her. She told you she was unclean, but you threatened to throw her out." The king's eyes blazed. "Take her to the guards. She will be punished for attempted murder." "No, please!" The stepmother was dragged away screaming. Adaize stood frozen, tears running down her face, staring at Amara with pure hatred. "This isn't fair. I'm the beautiful one. I deserve—" "You deserve nothing," the prince said coldly. "I watched you all week. I saw how you treated servants, how you pushed and insulted people you thought beneath you. You are beautiful outside, but ugly inside." Adaize ran from the room, sobbing. The prince turned to Amara. I'm sorry for the fear and confusion. We had to keep you hidden until today. We had to make everyone believe you are truly taken by the shrine. Amara's voice was small. Why me? I'm nobody. You have everything that matters. A kind heart, a gentle spirit, strength. You survived years of cruelty and never became cruel yourself. Tears poured down Amara's face. The prince gestured to the maids. Take her, wash her, gently, oil her skin, dress her in a wrapper that felt like air, adorn her with gold beads and braided her hair beautifully. When they brought her to a mirror, Amara didn't recognize herself. The girl looking back was radiant, royal. Is this really me? The head maid smiled. This is who you are always meant to be. The wedding was held 1 month later. The entire kingdom celebrated for 3 days. Amara walked through the palace gates in her bridal wrapper. The same villagers who had ignored her suffering now bowed as she passed. On the second day of celebration, a guard approached Amara in the palace garden. Your Highness, 2 women at the gate asked to see you. They say they are your family. Amara's heart knew. Bring them. Her stepmother and Adeze were brought in, dressed in rags, faces thin from hunger. Her stepmother fell to her knees. Amara, my daughter, please forgive me. I was wrong. I was wicked. Please, we have nothing. The king took everything. Have mercy. Adeze knelt too, staring at the ground. Amara looked at them. She remembered every slap, every insult, every hungry night while they ate. She could punish them, she had the power, but she remembered the prince's words. You have a kind heart. Stand up. They stood, fear in their eyes. You treated me like nothing. You tried to kill me. You made my life painful. Her stepmother began to cry. I'm sorry, but I am not you. I will not become cruel because you are cruel to me. She turned to the guard. Give them food. Give them a small house at the village edge. Enough to survive, nothing more. Her stepmother's eyes widened. You're helping us? I'm showing you mercy. Something you never showed me. Now leave. If you come back asking for more, you'll be thrown out of the kingdom. The guard led them away. Her stepmother kept looking back, crying. Adeze never looked back once. That evening, the prince found Amara in the garden. I heard what you did. Was I too kind? No, you are exactly who I knew you were. That's why I chose you. Years passed. Amara became queen when the old king died. She ruled with wisdom and kindness, never forgetting where she came from. She built homes for orphans. She made sure no child went hungry. She created laws to protect people from cruelty. The village told stories about her, about the orphan girl who became queen, about the girl who showed kindness to a beggar masquerade and won a prince's heart. Mothers told their daughters, be like Queen Amara. Be kind even when the world is cruel. Be generous even when you have little. You never know who is watching. Every year, during the masquerade festival, Queen Amara would watch the masquerades dance and remember the one who tested her heart, the one who saw her when no one else did. Her husband would stand beside her and squeeze her hand. She would smile, knowing that kindness saved her life, that the girl everyone called worthless was now the most powerful woman in the kingdom, and that sometimes the people who suffer the most become the ones who shine the brightest. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to subscribe to Oma's African Tales, like this video and share it with your family and friends. Comment down below and tell us what you think. Where are you watching from? We really would love to know. Also, have you ever shown kindness to someone and had it come back to bless you in unexpected ways? Until next time, remember that your kindness today might be your blessing tomorrow. Goodbye.